personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
At Southern Bank, we're never not helpful.
Attaboy. Way to hustle for the muscle.
Helping positive gym bros and everybody else.
Since 1984, Bagby Wealth Management has assisted clients in reaching their personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
Two teams with postseason expectations after losing quite a bit from last season. They meet head-to-head in an early season matchup, both sitting right around the 500 mark. Cape, Notre Dame, and Jackson here in a girls' soccer match this afternoon. Great to have you with us on Aycorp Sports. Hopefully some familiar voices by now. Greg Allen, Mike Reeves. Great to see you. The Lady Bulldogs come in with a mark of 3-2. The Lady Indians 2-2. It's been a busy early season, Mike, for both these bunches.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's I think a perfect time to play this game. The intensity that you should get with it. We've talked to some people as we come over here, and they've said, yes, there's, people care about, the games in general, but specifically when these two get together, it means something. And I'm just curious to get a look at, I would say, how crisp the play is at this point in the season, because you're in it far enough that you're getting an idea about your team, but you're not into it far enough. I don't think that any coach would say, we know who we're going to be at the end of the year. I don't think you're getting that far into it. So more curious to look at that, the level of play as far as being crisp. Beyond that, passing, the fluidity of the game. We've talked a lot about soccer played right is very fluid. See what we get from that perspective here in this one. Either way, it should be a really competitive and really good matchup.
Notre Dame comes in having won 3 straight, including a 4-0 shutout victory at Carbondale, Illinois last night. Jackson played 2 nights ago with a 3-2 loss at Lindbergh. Both these teams, there's a lot of retooling going on. We'll talk about that as the broadcast goes along. Cape, Notre Dame graduating 8 starters from last year's team that for the second straight year won a district championship. Jackson, they lose 9, including 6 starters from last year's group. That was the first year out of the last 7 they did not win a district title, missing out on a state tournament after 3 straight years going to the state quarterfinals. Jackson sits 2-2 under second-year head coach Caleb Beesink coming into today. Cape, Notre Dame at 3-2 under 11th-year head coach Ryan Schwain. That sets the scene for this one. If you talk head-to-head, it's been Jackson lopsided lately. 7 straight have gone the way when these two get together in favor of the Lady Indians, and they've also won 19 of the last 24. The last time Cape, Notre Dame beat Jackson head-to-head, it was April Fool's Day. It wasn't a joke that day in 2019. Cape, Notre Dame won in a 2-1 score. We'll get this one underway with the starting lineups and the opening kick from Jackson when we come back.
Since 1984, Bagby Wealth Management has assisted clients in reaching their personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
At Southern Bank, we're never not helpful.
Attaboy. Way to hustle for the muscle.
Helping positive gym bros and everybody else.
Welcome back to Jackson. Greg Allen, Mike Reeves. We get ready for Cape, Notre Dame, and the Jackson Indians in a girls varsity soccer match. Let's head to the public address and Nikki Daniel.
For the Notre Dame Lady Bulldogs, number 1, Abby Crabb. Number 3, Mia Panton. Number 5, Cece Lemons. Number 6, Michaela Danenduler. Number 7, Lola Wunderlich. Number 11, Brinley Henneman. Number 16, Bree Johnston. Number 17, Caden King. Number 27, Eloisa Marquez. Number 35, Kate Rowland. And number 99, Aiden O'Daniel. And now for your Jackson Lady Indians. A senior, number 4, Rudy Klund. A freshman, number 5, Bryn Vanderman. A senior, number 12, Ashlyn Dawes. A senior, number 8, Josie Sauerbrunn. A freshman, number 11, Sydney Schomburg. A freshman, number 13, Chloe Abernathy. A freshman, number 14, Adeline Abernathy. A sophomore, number 15, Reagan Gwynn. A senior, number 16, Maddie Stelling. A junior, number 18, Rachel Berger. And a sophomore, 00, Addie Sanders.
Those are your starting lineups for this one. When we come back, we've got the start of what should be a real good one from here in Jackson right after this on Aycorp Sports.
Since 1984, Bagby Wealth Management has assisted clients in reaching their personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
At Southern Bank, we're never not helpful.
Attaboy. Way to hustle for the muscle.
Helping positive gym bros and everybody else.
Back in Jackson, where we're just moments away now from getting this one underway. Cape Notre Dame, Jackson on the soccer pitch on an absolutely gorgeous, though somewhat breezy afternoon from here in Jackson.
We were talking about that, Mike, on the way down. The amount of wind that is here at this facility, it is, as we look at the field, blowing right to left. Whoever is going towards the right into the wind, I would think that'd be the much more difficult path to travel in the first half.
No, without doubt. And the one advantage they have up in St. Louis with the MLS team is that stadium doesn't allow a lot of the wind to be an issue. But the coaches have talked on a number of occasions how you change your style in terms of if you're going to try to clear a ball, keep it low. If you get up in the air, it comes right back at you. The most extreme circumstance I've ever seen, high school game a number of years ago.
We talking soccer?
Yeah, soccer.
I can give you a football one, but we're talking soccer.
A pass that basically blew into the net The goalkeeper was playing it as a pass, and the wind was blowing so hard it changed the direction of it. It went in. So I don't think we have that kind of wind here today. But yes, wind can play a factor to say the least.
Notre Dame will open with possession, and the way the Lady Bulldogs are traveling, that is into the wind. Mike Jackson also had to be careful with some of those long passes because that wind is going to grab hold of that ball and blow it a lot farther than they might anticipate.
There's no question. I mean, we'll watch that. You can kind of keep an eye on it. I know it's hard sometimes on a video screen to get a feel for wind and what's going on, but it is something that the players are certainly aware of.
Just trying to watch. There's a flag in the far left corner where they would do corner kicks. It's in your shot right now. It's actually a house across the street that has an American national flag in the front yard. That gives you some idea of how gusty that wind can be at times, and blowing right in the face of the Cape Notre Dame Lady Bulldogs. Again, 3-2, riding a 3-game win streak. They opened the season with losses to Parkway South and Parkway Central by a combined score of 5-1, and then it was wins over Sykeston. On the road at Marion, Illinois, on the road at Carbondale, and now here they are at Jackson, a much shorter trip, just a little bit down Interstate 55. Jackson trying to center. One of the first shot comes, and it's on net, but it's nicely saved by Aiden O'Daniel off a shot from Rudy Klund.
That developed out of nowhere.
Yes, it
Pass
did.
just kind of found its way into the middle of the field. A really good opportunity. She added that all to do over again. Obviously, she'd like to pick a corner, preferably probably to her left, but put it pretty much right in the chest of the keeper.
And Mike, I think she had a lot more time than she thought she had. Kind of that upper corner of the 18-yard box, and she found herself all alone for a heartbeat, had time to kind of center things and maybe put more on that shot. Klund already with a couple of goals this season, couple of helpers as well. We're at Jackson Soccer Stadium, first effort on the pitch for Aycorp Sports. So glad to have you in the audience here this afternoon. Bumped up the start time a little bit from 6:30 to 5:30. That certainly helps us. Coming down the right flank, Jackson has, for the most part, controlled things, especially in the offensive end. They try to center one, Bree Johnson, there to break that up for a moment. And Notre Dame trying to settle things. One of their captains, Mia Panton.
I do know, talking to a lot of people again in St. Louis and over the years, that possession is not always as much as you make it out to be in this sport.
Here's another shot on net. Now an open cage, and Notre Dame able to clear one for the moment. Did that go out of bounds? Yes. It will be a corner kick for Jackson coming up. And their first set piece coming up here.
I know there's been a number of times you look at the stat sheet at a half or maybe even the end of the game, and possession favored a team 61%. That team's trailing. And a lot of coaches have talked about it doesn't matter how much you're possessing. It's what you're doing with it when you are possessing it. Now, I do think right now it's tilted in favor of Jackson, and to their credit, they're doing some things with it. They're getting chances.
Senior Josie Sauerbrunn to put it in play. Centers that ball on a high pass out of the corner. Jackson able, for the most part, to stay on it offensively. Just underway in this one. We are scoreless. Jackson coming in off a 3-2 loss to Lindbergh 2 nights ago. Nice turn down that left wing for Bryn Banderman, and then knocked out of bounds by Notre Dame. Jackson opened the season with a 4-0 win at visitation, lost to Fort Zumwalt East 2-0, and then an 8-0 rout of Saxony Lutheran here. Their first 3 matches, regardless of result, all ending in shutouts. And their game 2 nights ago, the first one where the losing team scored a goal. It was Jackson that was on the short end of a 3-2 score. And you're already sensing, Mike, in the first, almost 4 minutes of play here as we wind down to 36 minutes left in this first half of a 40-minute half. All the offensive chances, this field has been heavily tilted towards Jackson.
Very little has happened on the other side of the field. And again, when it matters, you got to take advantage. You got to eventually score. But I don't want anybody to get it wrong. You'd much rather possess it, have the chances, even if you're not scoring. I don't think Notre Dame right now is looking at the play and saying, we're okay with this. They'd like to have some possession and opportunities, but you do have to eventually take advantage. And they've had 2 chances, and neither one of them found the back of the net.
Aiden O'Daniel in goal for Notre Dame. Made the start 2 games ago at Marion in the 2-1 win. Addie Sander on the other side for Jackson. She's been the primary goalkeeper so far this year, as O'Daniel makes her 3rd appearance already here for the Lady Bulldogs in Game 6.
If you were with us just moments ago for the lineups, I'm sure you noted with Jackson 4 freshmen in the starting lineup for this group, and that's not incredibly unusual to see that. Girls sports especially, we see so many more of the freshmen that make impact on the varsity level, but it did catch my attention that you've got 4 that are rolling out there in that starting group.
And that's part of the youth movement that both these coaches talked to me about before the game. Here's Sauerbrunn again in a corner. 2 assists already this year. Out of that corner, ball in the middle that's sort of loose. Played out. Wunderlich had a shot. It ends up off a deflection and in the back of the net, and Jackson with a 1-0 lead. Wunderlich never did get a good foot on it. Jackson able to put it off the left post, and the Indians lead 1-0.
Goal coming from a scrum in the middle of the field.
Goal, Jackson.
Everybody in the press box has had the same problem that we did trying to figure out who got the foot on it that put it in. They are going to give it to Bryn Vanderman on that goal.
Her 3rd already of this season. One of the freshmen, Mike, you just talked about. Boy, it's so nice as a coach when you do have to reload after losing so many from last year, and those freshmen not only can play but can contribute some big minutes.
Had the conversation over the years many times, Greg. There's a lot of reasons a freshman plays at the varsity level. One that you don't ever want is that you're just forced into it. You're not really ready for it, but they have to because of various circumstances. It's not been the case most recently in most of the sports we've watched. Freshmen that are playing because they're good.
Speaking of freshmen, Addie Pratt, number 1 in white, trying to take it away from Ashlyn Dawes. The defender for Jackson will be a throw-in far side of the field, and Reagan Gwynn will take that. Glad you're with us on Aycorp Sports. Some high school boys volleyball last night with Saxony Lutheran. Mike and I will have a couple from Saxony coming up later in April.
We've done a lot of volleyball over our careers together, but not on the boys' side of things.
There's not a lot that you and I can do these days that we could say, that's a first. That will be one on April 21st when you and I do a boys' varsity high school volleyball game.
Becoming a much more popular sport across the state in terms of numbers of teams participating.
Oh, good through ball here. Adeline Abernathy down that right wing.
A terrific pass, and honestly, I don't have any problem with that shot. I think the idea was right. She just sailed it a tad high.
Aiden O'Daniel in net for Notre Dame has her work cut out for her here. It'll be interesting to see how things change when they flip the field at the half and Cape Notre Dame gets the benefit of the wind going in their direction. Abernathy again with a header. Rudy Klund will do the same. Jackson trying to settle this. Sauerbrunn got beat off the ball by Addie Pratt, and Notre Dame wins a 50-50 ball.
Now, whether I talk it into happening or not, we'll find out. But a lot of times, you have a very physical nature in the level of play. Haven't seen a lot of that yet. We'll see if it indeed begins at any point. But the play has been mostly pretty fluid and open.
Pretty tic-tac passing by Jackson, and including a give and go up this left sideline. Klund trying to refine possession, comes instead to Banderman.
I think Rudy Klund heard me and just dropped a shoulder immediately into an opponent there. I like that.
Jackson will play to the right wing wide. Reagan Gwynn deeper up that right wing to Stelling. That's Maddie Stelling. And a throw-in coming in for the Lady Indians. Notre Dame in this opening almost now 9 minutes without anything that would come close to resembling a shot. All the offense has been in favor of Jackson so far, and again, we'll see another corner coming up. The lone goal in the game coming off a scramble of a loose ball in the middle off of a corner kick. And so Sauerbrunn will try to set it up again. Jackson loads everybody up on the far side of the post, and now they run across the field. Nice ball in play, and loose right near the mouth of the goal. Boy, anybody in black had a crack at that, and Notre Dame is fortunate to get out of there without a goal scored. Wow.
So often that pass from the corner Greg doesn't put teammates in a spot where they have an opportunity. That pass gave everybody an opportunity. It was just there for the taking, and they couldn't put it home.
Well, with the way that ball was played out of the corner by Sauerbrunn, Mike, with this wind, this would be a perfect opportunity for a banana kick off the corner and to score on your own.
Oh, I mean,
not something you can typically drop at the high school level. Today's the day.
Yeah, with that wind, curling it back that direction.
Now, you can't do that on the other side of the field. But the way Jackson's going now in this direction, you can certainly get the benefit of that wind, as you said, to blow a ball into the net.
You said other side of the field. Hadn't been on that other side still to
Not
this
much.
point. 10 minutes in, we haven't seen it on that side of the field very much.
Not a lot of possession time for the gals in white. Last year, these two met. It was Jackson in a 4-1 win. In fact, the last 4 times they've met, they've held Notre Dame to a single goal, winning 4-1, 2-1, 3-1, and a 2-1 win at a district quarterfinal back in 2022. Coach Caleb Piesink in his second year with Jackson. I asked him before the game what he's thought about through the first 4 games of this year, and he said, we just got to keep building with what we've done so far. You know, you get a retooling team with a lot of new pieces. You're going to have some things you really like, and then you're going to have some things that you don't like game to game that you got to work on. Jackson back on the offense, tries to center one, cleared out for the moment by Notre Dame. Not controlled well, and Jackson nearly ended up with it in that right corner of the box with Abernathy. Now she does. Tries to center one in the middle of Tinsley Murley and couldn't put it to the ground. Still loose in the middle. Jackson plays one back out. Emma Larson with a shot and score! Larson with her first of the year, and a great play by the Jackson Lady Indians. Get it away from traffic and got a good look with some bodies in front to maybe shield O'Daniel, and 2-0 Lady Indians.
No, so often that shot tends to go high or wide, and she did not miss with it. Great pressure set that up, though. We've seen it all day long as we're just better than 11 minutes in. Lots of pressure and finally converting on those opportunities, and that was set up so well. They had chances before, but that one from distance, that was pretty.
Now Notre Dame trying to possess one on the offensive end. Hasn't been much of that here in this first almost now 11 and a half minutes gone by. Right about that throw-in spot, you see the shadow starting to creep on the field from our press box here. Shouldn't really have sun be an issue, except maybe on plays like right now that's throwing. You can see some girls shielding their eyes, but in the normal coastal play, just right to left and straight down the field, not an issue at all. But anything coming from this near side, you're sort of looking into the sun.
You mentioned it earlier in inaugural broadcast here for Aycorp Sports. Normally when you're a part of something historical, don't you get something like gifts or I'll keep waiting for that to come up a little bit, so maybe it's going to be after the game.
I mean, we should.
All of us. I mean, everybody involved.
Addison Crooks almost had a good look at a ball in the middle.
Coaches, players, PA, everybody should be involved.
Are you just lobbying for a present? Is that what you're doing?
I do that anytime I can. Anytime.
Addie Pratt wins the ball in the middle, plays it to Eloisa Marquez, the junior. And still Notre Dame unable to really get anything generated on the offensive end and their half of the field to the right of that midfield stripe.
Yeah, it feels like everything they've done has just been tried to control the ball or get it out of danger. Had an opportunity here to maybe make something happen as they try to play it up the middle of the field.
That through ball a little deep for Pratt. Cece Lemons on the far side, the sophomore trying to run it down. And now playing against Reagan Gwynn on defense for Jackson. It'll be a throw-in Notre Dame. Played over 13 minutes at his first half to a 2-0 score. Goals from Bryn Banderman, her third, and Emma Larson, her first. But I'm with you 100%, Mike, and we've seen it not just the high school level, but levels higher than this. That ball that's played back to the top of the box, so many times does that ball go high over the cage, and Larson did a great job to keep it on target.
I think a lot of that is that obviously the best place is to try to go up high, even in a corner, and there's a fine line between hitting that spot and missing it by just a fraction. She didn't miss it at all.
Nope. Well, here's that wind. You can see blowing the ball all the way back down to the Notre Dame defensive end. Jackson tries to keep it in play, and they cannot. It'll be a goal kick coming up for Notre Dame. 14 minutes in, first half.
Call was a little delayed. I was waiting. I mean, even the players, I think, were wondering for a moment, is this live or did it cross the end line? And it did indeed, and Cape Notre Dame will play it.
Jackson after this, 2 days from now on Friday, will take on Farmington here. Here's a shot right on target, but O'Daniel right there to smother it. And a good save for the senior Aiden O'Daniel, making her third start this year.
I like the way she made certain of that. Head down, made sure, let it hit her up high, and then wrap the arms around it. Make sure no rebound pops out of there.
Jackson right back on the attack, though. Addison Crooks. Play it back to the middle. Here's a shot from well beyond the box, and O'Daniel let that rebound come off of her. That was, again, Larson on the shot, but nobody else around O'Daniel, so that is able to be cleared from traffic and trouble.
You could tell how comfortable Larson was even from that distance. She saw that there's an opportunity. I'm going to put that in there. And at the very worst, you get one on goal. We talked about no rebound earlier. You may get one. You never know, a deflection.
Boy, as if Jackson's first part of the schedule hasn't been tough enough already. They get to that Kickapoo showcase on a very important day on the calendar, April 16th. Boy, that's a great day. They'll face the first of three tough customers, Kickapoo, and then undefeated Glendale and Nixa. And then 2 games after that tournament, as if that wasn't hard enough, you get a nationally ranked Koryezu bunch coming here, including a girl that has already committed to UNC in North Carolina.
I'll go ahead and take the bait and let you roll with it. Why is the 16th of April such a big deal, sir?
Because somebody gets cake that day, and that is important, because that's what happens on your birthday.
So I beg for gifts, and I get railed for it, and you do it, and it's just all part of the broadcast. All right, it's all good. It's all good.
On your birthday, it's guaranteed to get cake. We're not guaranteed to get presents when you come to a game.
You mentioned that Koryezu group, and I was looking
Thanks
ahead.
for taking the bait, by the way. I appreciate
looking
it.
ahead a little bit. That group is part of the Class 4 District 1. Nerix Hall hosts that. Koryezu, Farmington, Fox, Jackson, Lindbergh, Nerix Hall, Oakville, Seckman, all part of that district. So when you talk about trying to get out of a district and you've got a nationally ranked squad sitting in that district, yeah, you got your work cut out. And I don't care how talented or how good you may be, that's where the discussion for the time being begins in that district, as Koryezu, who won the state championship a year ago, favored to do so again.
Off a free kick, Jackson. It's cleared to the left corner. They'll run that down in the corner with Chloe Abernathy. Now trying to turn again is Larson. She's been impressive in this first 15+. Here's a shot from well in front of the penalty area and right of the net and out of bounds. Goal kick coming up, Notre Dame. Well, Maddie DiMaria is the one that is committed. In fact, she's going to graduate at semester next year to get to North Carolina early. So you want to get a look at one of the nation's top players. Come here on April 23rd when Koryezu's in town, and you'll get a look at what Jackson's got to deal with come district playoff time. And that will be no easy task.
I think fans of the sport, though, and I don't think it matters which sport, when you get a chance to see some of the elite of the elite, even if they play against your team,
absolutely,
it's worth your effort to get a chance to watch that just as a fan.
And I'm sure for even some of the players that would play opposite her, I got a chance to play against insert name here, right? Whatever sport we're talking about.
I think without doubt that should be part of it. My oldest son played basketball a while back and played many times, more than a handful, against Tyler Hansbrough. Well, he still, to this day, is like, he dunked on me. I'm like, well, I mean, he goes, oh, I don't care. He goes, I got to play against him. I get to watch him go on, and have a magnificent career at UNC. And I saw him do everything that he did, play professionally, make it to the NBA. He goes, I don't care that I got dunked on. He said, I got video of it. It's cool.
2-0. Couple of early goals for Jackson. Bryn Banderman, Emma Larson. The only tallies so far through the first near 19 minutes of play. And still a game heavily tilted offensively towards the Jackson Lady Indians.
Yeah, there have been, Greg, 0 scoring opportunities for Cape Notre Dame to this point. They've gotten the ball deep a couple of times, but even when they got it deep, they were unable to generate anything from that. And the scoreboard at this point does not lie as far as how the game is being played and where it's being dominated.
50-50 ball won by Jackson. Tried to center when it's loose in the middle, and a shot goes in. Jackson on the board, 3-0. Again off a scrambled play.
Tinsley Murley found a way to put that home.
That is her first, and again another freshman on the list for second-year head coach Caleb Biesink.
Okay, if you're a goalkeeper and you get that kind of traffic in front and so many different options and so many different things that the opponent can do, there were more than one player that was in position to be able to score. And somebody finds it and you don't know where it's coming from. That happened on the very first goal. The first goal, it's like everybody's in the middle. Who's it going to come from? They've looked awfully sharp, have the Indians.
That makes it 3-0 and a throw-in coming up for Jackson here. Tinsley Murley, daughter of now Jackson volleyball head coach Dave Murley. I remember him from his coaching days at Perryville. Had a number of really good teams at Perryville.
As always, so good to us in what we do in the media and the broadcast field. Always a wealth of information. You could learn a lot about the game just sitting and talking to him, or even if it was an interview situation.
Sydney Schamberg, the freshman, and Notre Dame here with Pratt in the middle, trying to turn, lead a teammate, Michaela Dannenmuller, up that left wing, but it's taken away nicely by Addison Crooks. And Jackson trying to turn it back to offense with Bryn Banderman. She's got some space down that right wing, but they don't have numbers. It's a 2-on-3, but Jackson with Murley going to try it again. Cuts inside, cuts back to the outside, tries to shoot one across the face of the net, a little wide, stays in play though, and the Lady Indians run that down in the left corner with Maggie Grunlow. And now out of bounds. And a goal kick coming up.
Greg, after that pass that Pratt made for Notre Dame on this end, it was a really good pass to the left wing, trying to set up a teammate. The transition back the other way for Jackson, really impressive. It took them very little time to gain control, get up the field, and then create a scoring opportunity.
A couple of subs in for Caleb Biesink. And off that goal kick, immediate possession right back to the black and red. Sauerbrunn suffered an ACL tear early last year, had a couple of assists on the season, missed this entire softball campaign this past fall, but she is back full strength for Jackson, number 8 in black. And I know Coach Biesink's so happy to have her back. Good takeaway there on a win by Notre Dame. Oh, right into the face of the aforementioned Sauerbrunn. Wow. Not intended at all on the turn, and the kick from Lola Wunderlich. Boy, Sauerbrunn took that like a champ.
Yeah, the official came over, kind of, checked in with her. Okay, even a slight smile.
Yeah.
I didn't think smile was going to be the next thing that happened. Again, no intent whatsoever. She was trying to make the pass up the field, and she just played it off and said, "Let's keep going."
Banderman down that right wing, one-on-one against Eloisa Marquez. Into the middle, and Caden King there for the Lady Bulldogs, but right back to Jackson. They get an opportunity here. Back to Rachel Berger, and now they'll try to settle. Open down that left side is Chloe Abernathy. Don't go that way yet. She had some space and a helper. Instead, they keep it deep on a right wing. And out of bounds, and another corner kick coming up. And another set piece, and that means Sauerbrunn goes into duty in the corner.
And for the most part, we've seen them create chances out of this. Haven't seen a direct score off of it yet, but we have seen opportunity. The player who can put that corner kick into a spot to score frequently is invaluable.
They'll keep it short and low on the ground this time and get it back to Reagan Gwynn. Back to Gwynn. She and Sauerbrunn kind of playing keep away, but it's taken away by Abby Pratt. Pratt's done a good job so far for Notre Dame when she's gotten opportunities to force some turnovers by Jackson.
I started the broadcast by saying possession, not always a key stat in this sport, but in this one, the possession and the scoreboard go hand in hand. There's no doubt the team that's possessed it the most also has the advantage on the board.
Sophia Kroll, a freshman, settled by Sauerbrunn. And Jackson will elect to play it back to keep possession and reset. Just past the 16-minute mark, first half of a 3-0 game. The goals from Banderman, Larson, Murley, the latter two getting their first of the year. And that's one of the first times we see the Wind play a ball on the far side all the way out of bounds. Jackson unable to run it down. Coach Ryan Schwain in his 11th year for the Lady Bulldogs, he said, I don't really know kind of what I have yet. It's a brand new team after losing 8 starters from last year. A lot of new faces still trying to gel. Addie Pratt, the lone freshman in this group, a number of sophomores. And that's where the youth for the Notre Dame Bulldogs comes from.
And you would think either of these teams would tell you, we are not going to know who we really are until at least the first week or two of May. And then
I was waiting to see where you were going to go with that.
Yeah, I think it may take you. Right now, you're getting a look, and what we're seeing at a first blush is that, hey, from a Jackson perspective, lots of weapons, lots of ability to keep possession. But what is Notre Dame going to look like if we got to look at them in 3 weeks? I mean, with a group that's changing so much, you don't ever know. And we've seen that in every sport we've covered at the high school level, that I don't think any coach has ever said, we hope we're as good as we can be the 3rd or 4th week of the season. That's not what they talk about. Nope. It's later on that they want to be at their best.
Yeah, I would have said 15 games into the year of a soccer season, you might start to get confident to know sort of what your makeup is and who you can rely on in certain spots.
And, of course, that changes if it's a complete veteran group that's played together for years and it's a junior, senior-laden crew. And then you can
start from game one.
Yeah, you start going into the season going, listen, we ought to start at a much different level than an inexperienced team does.
But neither one of these teams is in that boat. And they are rowing a completely different ship.
We talked earlier about the district setup that Jackson is going to be a part of, and we talked about nationally ranked Koryezu being part of that district. Notre Dame, Greg, they play out of Class 1, District 1. They go to Bishop DeBerg for their district this year. Brentwood plays there. Crossroads, Hancock, Lutheran North, McKinley, Principia, Valley Park. Those are some of the teams that will be there, and there are none there that are nationally ranked. Not saying there's not some really good teams there, but
right. Well, they're happy there's nobody nationally ranked there. I'll promise you that. Well, I asked Coach Swain how big of a game this was. I mean, two relatively teams in close proximity, right? As far as where the schools are located, he's like, it's Class 1 versus Class 4. It wasn't really. I didn't get the sense it was a big deal for him as far as a rivalry type game. His team on the short end of a 3-0 score. Banderman, good pass, back to the top of the box, and a shot from that area. And Daniel able to smother that ball off the foot of Rachel Berger. She was looking for her second goal this season after scoring 6 a year ago.
That was that 1-2 that you talk about. You get that rebound. If that pops out of there at all,
Daniel was in trouble.
Then you're probably going to allow a 4th goal because you've got to secure that. And for the most part, Greg, today, when she's had a chance to secure one, she has. I don't think she had any chance on the goals that went in.
Maddie Stelling able to make the turn and play one off a Bulldog and out of bounds at another corner coming up. And Sauerbrunn pressed back into service in the corner. Maddie Stelling going to play softball at St. Charles Community College. And Jackson with a flurry of changes here with the corner. Well, you just look at the benches, and it is a much deeper Jackson squad that can afford to do this and bring fresh bodies in more frequently than Notre Dame can, that's for sure. Sauerbrunn, good high lofting shot out of the corner. And it went off an Indian and out of bounds, and a goal kick coming up. Notre Dame.
Greg, I've seen it enough that it continues to be noted. The corner kicks are in spots that can create a threat, and at every level that I've watched this sport, all the way up to the MLS, and I know that they're trying to do things a little differently at times with their corners, but you see frequently where it's like there was no chance off of that. Whatever they did, it didn't result in any opportunity. Almost any corner that she has tried that has gone into the box that they played in that way, there was an opportunity for something good to happen from it because the ball was in the right spot.
Well, Sauerbrunn today has been really good for Jackson, Mike, to put, except the one she elected to play short to a teammate, everyone she's lofted towards the goal has been really tight to the goal mouth and had opportunities for players to do something with. At least create some havoc in front, that's for sure. We've already seen a couple of those scramble-type goals. It's just so hard off that goal kick with this wind blowing right at you for Notre Dame to get anything going down the field. So then it takes ball control, exactly what they're trying to do right here. And that passing breaks up and Jackson takes possession. And when they get one in the air, that ball's pushed farther onto their end of the field due to this wind. And then you get Adeline Abernathy to end up with a loose ball down the left wing. Nice job to break that centering pass apart. And Notre Dame with Wunderlich stays on it for the moment, but she's got pressure and able to get it to Cece Lemons, a sophomore. Right tight to that near side sideline. We haven't seen Addie Sander really have to do much in the Jackson cage.
I think one thing I've noted, too, is when Jackson's defense has been called upon to have to do something when there has been some possession, they've been right there. And a couple of times I noted Sydney Schomburg has done a real good job of playing defense. And sometimes you can kind of get lulled a little bit when you're not getting action on that end of the field, but that defense hasn't been at all a problem as far as staying alert and staying awake.
Great play by Abernathy. Let that ball bounce. Use the wind to your advantage. All she did was shield off the defender, kind of boxed her out, so to speak, and let the wind help the ball, almost as if an extra teammate to make a pass over the head. And upfield to Grunlow in that far right corner. She's got two Bulldogs on her. Big collision there. And we do get a whistle. Foul coming up on Notre Dame. This is a dangerous spot right here for Jackson. You're just outside the penalty area. You're at a good angle. You've got the wind with you. Crawl up on 8.5 remaining first half of a 3-0 game. 2 40-minute halves at the high school level. Here's the free kick. They'll keep this one low. It's easily cleared out. Nicely played by Notre Dame. And out of bounds throw in Jackson.
We mentioned it right at the outset of the broadcast, and we've continued to talk about it off and on.
Caden King cleared that.
The wind and the way that it can affect a game. But, Greg, I don't feel like that's the reason for the situation that this game has been as tilted as it has been. I guess we'll find out at half how much of a difference it made. It's a factor, but I don't think it's a reason.
I don't think it's a reason it's 3-0. I will be interested to see when they do flip sides if it is a reason for the time of possession on the offensive ends. I'll be curious to see that. I don't think it's a reason it's 3-0 though. Throw in for sophomore Allie Thompson, far side. Second game in as many days for Notre Dame after a 4-0 win over Carbondale. Shot high. Daniel couldn't gather it off the hands and in. And she comes down clutching her left ankle in a 4-0 game. Addison Crooks will get credit for that. Her third of the year. The keeper for Notre Dame is down. She immediately clutched her left ankle. Coach Ryan Schwein is out there with some of the training staff as well for Notre Dame.
She went up to play that, bobbled it, and then after bobbling it, it came down just out of her reach and then rolled into the net. And I wonder how much of that had to do with the pain that she was in as she came back down after trying to go up to make that play. She knew immediately something wasn't right, and she's been in that same spot that we see now for a few moments.
Crooks had 4 last year, 3 now this season. Talk about all the players that Jackson lost off of last year's squad, graduating 9, including 6 starters. The 4 goals by Crooks a year ago, tied for the 3rd most in the returners. Rudy Klund has the most goals of anybody that came back from last year's squad with 8. Then you get Rachel Berger with 6. Crooks and Maddie Stelling with 4 each. And so Crooks is nearing that number now with 3. But the attention right now to Notre Dame keeper Aiden O'Daniel.
And of all the ways that you often see injury occur in this sport, the way in which that occurred was so freakish. Just she's trying to make the play, went up for it, and then at some point, the way in which she landed or when she tried to shift weight caused an issue with the lower part of her leg. I wanted to say ankle because of the way it happened. We have no way of knowing that for sure, but the coach, some members of the training staff, at least some level of concern as they look over her at this point.
Well, she has not moved from the position that she was in when the ball rolled off her hands into the net. She is still up against that far post, at least in a seated position now, but she's been on the ground in that spot ever since that ball went in for a 4-0 Jackson lead. We'll take an injury timeout as they do finally get O'Daniel to her feet. And we'll see what Notre Dame does in net. You would expect Sarah Hulshoff to be forced into service with 7:32 to go in the first half and a 4-0 Jackson lead.
Since 1984, Bagby Wealth Management has assisted clients in reaching their personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
At Southern Bank, we're never not helpful.
Attaboy. Way to hustle for the muscle.
Helping positive gym bros and everybody else.
Welcome you back to Jackson Soccer Stadium. A new keeper in the cage for Notre Dame, Sarah Hulshoff, the junior, who played last night in the 4-0 win over Carbondale. Pitched the shutout there, now to face this Jackson squad with 47.5 minutes remaining in the game as we near halftime. Aiden O'Daniel, watched her walk. She was helped for about the first half the distance between the goal and her bench by about 2 or 3 other people. And then the last half of that, she did, albeit gingerly, walk under her own power without assistance to get the rest of the way off the field. So that is some degree of at least positive news for her on the injury front in the immediacy of that.
The concern for me was how quickly she knew something's wrong. You know, as a player, sometimes you know I'm okay, I'll be able to play through it. Sometimes you know whatever just happened is not right, and you just sense that she knew pretty quickly. Certainly hope she'll be okay.
Pratt, nice job knocking the ball away for a moment from Tinsley Murley, but it will result in another corner for Jackson. And so Sarah Hulshoff will be in the middle of this scramble effort, right in the middle of the blender that Jackson tries to create right in front of the goal here. Boy, I think it'd be so tough, Mike, to be a goalkeeper and come in just off the bench. Even in a situation in the NHL, you come in cold, you don't get a lot of warm-up time. Here's a shot from well beyond the box that's way wide right. I think that'd be so tough, though.
And especially in a game even like this one where all the opportunity and all the chances have come at that end, so you know you're going to be tested.
Right away.
It's unlikely that you're going to get to go in and get any time to kind of settle in. And even right then, that one goes high, but with a corner kick, an opportunity.
Notre Dame takes one away from Sydney Schomburg there, but regathered by Adeline Abernathy. One of the Abernathy twins, Chloe and Adeline, 13 and 14, in the black shirts. Twin sisters, both part of that Final Four basketball run that Jackson had this year. There's a couple other ones out there. Banderman is one of those. Addison Crooks, who had the most recent goal, and Rachel Berger, all part of that Final Four Jackson team.
Well, Greg, everybody here at Aycorp Sports had a chance to see them against Donovan early, and they were terrific that night, won handily. I walked out of there thinking that team has every chance to play in Columbia by the time the year is over, and they proved that they had every chance to play as they were there.
Speaking of coaches that made the move from Perryville to Jackson, Angela Fulton did that as well on the women's basketball side of things. Former coach at Perryville, now here at Jackson.
There's nothing like as a coach, again, it's a long time ago that I did it, but to have the athletes and players who can implement what you want to do and do it at a high level, you're still coaching, without a doubt. But it's nice to know that if you implement it, it can be accomplished. And some of the coaches we've talked about today, they've had that. Great coaches as well, and they get the most out of what they have. But it's good to have it. I'll say that.
Jackson out of that corner, looking on the interior to Adeline Abernathy. Tries to turn. Shot is broken up nicely by Kate Rowland, who saved the effort from having Sarah Holshoff trying to make her first save and didn't let the ball get that deep.
It was some kind of effort to get that shot away as quickly as she did. It kind of came out of nowhere. And without the defense there, that may very well have been goal number 5.
This will be Addison Crooks off the corner, not Sauerbrunn here for Jackson. A right-footed kick towards the middle. Emma Larson got a foot on it, but couldn't do much more for Jackson. 3.5 remaining in the half. And Notre Dame able to play one out. Upfield for Cece Lemons. And she goes down hard after contact from Emma Larson, no whistle. Right back to her, though, and she's ready for it. This is about the spot of the field that Notre Dame has gotten to, but to keep possession any deeper than this has been such a difficult task. Another big collision far side, and this one does draw a whistle, and they'll call that one against Notre Dame. Just haven't been able to force anything really deep into the Jackson defensive end, and you were kind of spot on, Mike. When called upon, Jackson's defense has been rock solid.
And that caught my eye very quickly because as much as we've been tilted in the other direction, human nature is the ball's never come down here. We're not really having to do much. But, boy, when it has happened, they've been there.
Abernathy here. Nice stop-and-go move from the left wing. Tried to curl a shot in, and it's way too wide. Too much on it. Angle a little off. 2:20 to go in the half as we crawl up on halftime.
So Chloe and Adeline twins, Abernathy's correct. That's what you told me.
Yep.
Number 13, 14.
Yep.
If there's any semblance to firstborn, secondborn,
I
13,
didn't ask that.
14.
That would have been a good question. I didn't ask that. Was Chloe out first? Is that what we're going for?
You wonder if they, you think it through that much as twin sisters, like, all right, we'll be 13, 14. You were born first. You have 13.
Although if I was the one out second, I would lobby for I want the lower number. You're always first in everything. I'm going to go first for once.
and then add to it that 13 is one of those numbers. Which if you're a superstitious type, maybe you don't want that one.
That's right. Just because you beat me by 20 seconds or whatever. Minute and a half, just under that first half. 4-0 Jackson. 4 different first-half goal scorers for the Lady Indians. Banderman, Larson, Murley, and Crooks. Third of the year for both Banderman and Crooks, first for Larson and Murley. Notre Dame with a chance here. But again, defensively, Jackson just takes it away, plays one back to the keeper, and that low liner about almost to the midfield stripe.
You talk about Jackson having 4 goals from 4 different players. Add to that level of being impressive that their leading goal scorer on the year is not one who has scored one of the 4. I mean, has had some opportunities and some chances.
She's one of the twins, though.
Well, Jackson's done a lot of good things here in half number 1. Really curious, again, to see possession-wise how much the flipping of the field changes things in the second half.
And we are 23 seconds and then the halftime break from finding that out. This will be a goal kick and take the most of the rest of the 18 seconds off of it. 4-1 last year on April 9th when these two got together. Jackson looking for their 8th consecutive win head-to-head over the Notre Dame Bulldogs. Whistle coming to signal the end of the half, and there it is before they can set anything up with Murley coming down that right side of the box. They'll have to settle for a 4-0 lead at intermission. Jackson in command of this one against the Notre Dame Bulldogs on Aycorp Sports.
Since 1984, Bagby Wealth Management has assisted clients in reaching their personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
At Southern Bank, we're never not helpful.
Attaboy. Way to hustle for the muscle.
Helping positive gym bros and everybody else.
Your animals depend on you every day. So we build equipment you can depend on every day. So cutting hay, feeding livestock, and managing land is easier. Loaded with intuitive, innovative features and tech, Case IH equipment isn't just built to work. It's built to work for livestock producers. Case IH, built by farmers. Talk to your Baker Implement dealer today.
American energy dominance. It's how we secure our future. By harnessing homegrown energy, we fuel our economy, power industries, and drive innovation. At NextEra Energy, we're investing more than any other company to deliver low-cost, reliable energy that powers our country's future. NextEra Energy Resources, ahead of what's next.
I'm Karen Hillis, and I think you'll love what's behind this door.
This 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with spacious primary suite, back deck overlooking a detached shop, all on 4 lots.
Let's walk through it together. Give me a call today.
At SEMO Health Network, we strive to provide caring and affordable health care. We provide medical, dental, OB, and behavioral health services to everyone that may need it. For more information, visit our website and let SEMO Health Network take care of you.
not saying we'll bubble wrap your money, but we do protect it like family. At First State Bank and Trust, your money is safe with us. First State Bank and Trust.
Mathis Funeral Home of Dexter and Bernie strives to provide their community with the accommodations and services needed to relieve your family during times of loss. For more information, give them a call and see how Mathis Funeral Home can help meet your expectations in celebrating your loved ones.
This is us.
At Focus Bank, we understand your community because it's our community too. With branches across Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas, Focus Bank offers services such as fraud protection, really free checking, and mobile banking that lets you bank simply and securely, anytime, anywhere. Stop by any of our branches or visit us online to open an account today. Plus, you'll receive an awesome free gift just from opening your really free checking account. And when you refer someone who opens an account, you'll both receive a gift. Focus Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
In farming, the weather always cooperates. The soil is always balanced. Seedlings always flourish.
But that's fantasy. This is farming. Seed, bred and tested for your reality. Dynagrow Seed, for real.
Hey y'all, I'm Leslie Ackman with Young Real Estate. I'm excited to show you my newest listing.
Move right into this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a bright living space, metal roof, and roomy carport.
Let's make it yours. Call me today.
At First State Community Bank, our why is simple: to bring a positive impact to every community we serve. We are your neighbors and partners in building a stronger hometown. We work side by side with our community to help local businesses grow and families succeed. Our team takes the time to understand what matters to you, combining personal services with the latest technology so you can bank your way. Stop by one of our locations or visit us at fscb.com.
Agriculture is not a fad, and it's not for the faint of heart. Long days become long nights, sacrificing time away from your family, even on weekends, just so you can get the crop in and get the crop out. This is your way of life. At Farm Credit Southeast Missouri, we are 100% bought into your commitment. Because we are customer-owned, it is our mission to be your ag lender, and we intend to be your value-added partner for next year and the long term.
Since 1984, Bagby Wealth Management has assisted clients in reaching their personalized financial goals. Whether it's retirement, investments, or securing your family's future, we're here to guide you every step of the way. For more information, please call or visit our office in Dexter today. Your path starts here.
At Southern Bank, we're never not helpful.
Attaboy. Way to hustle for the muscle.
Helping positive gym bros and everybody else.
Your animals depend on you every day. So we build equipment you can depend on every day. So cutting hay, feeding livestock, and managing land is easier. Loaded with intuitive, innovative features and tech, Case IH equipment isn't just built to work. It's built to work for livestock producers. Case IH, built by farmers. Talk to your Baker Implement dealer today.
American energy dominance. It's how we secure our future. By harnessing homegrown energy, we fuel our economy, power industries, and drive innovation. At NextEra Energy, we're investing more than any other company to deliver low-cost, reliable energy that powers our country's future. NextEra Energy Resources, ahead of what's next.
I'm Karen Hillis, and I think you'll love what's behind this door.
This 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with spacious primary suite, back deck overlooking a detached shop, all on 4 lots.
Let's walk through it together. Give me a call today.
At SEMO Health Network, we strive to provide caring and affordable health care. We provide medical, dental, OB, and behavioral health services to everyone that may need it. For more information, visit our website and let SEMO Health Network take care of you.
Not saying we'll bubble wrap your money, but we do protect it like family. At First State Bank and Trust, your money is safe with us. First State Bank and Trust.
Greg Allen, Mike Reeves back with you on Aycorp Sports. Matt Williams operating the camera. Joshua, our producer today. Glad to have you with us here on this Wednesday afternoon. That wind will now favor the white-clad Notre Dame Bulldogs, 71 degrees, as those press box shadows creep farther onto the field near the midfield circle. 4 goal scorers in the first half at 34-39. Bryn Banderman, her 3rd of the year. 28-56, Emma Larson with her 1st of the season. And then Tinsley Murley got her 1st of the year about midway through that first half at the 20-38 mark. And then with 7:32 to go, Addison Crooks with her 3rd of the year made it a 4-0 game. That is where we sit. The goaltender change for Notre Dame. It is Sarah Holshoff still out there, the junior. After the senior, Aiden O'Daniel went down with a left ankle injury after an initial save on what turned out to be that 4th goal for the Lady Indians. And now Jackson is playing into the wind, so we'll see how much ball control and offensive time of possession they can continue to pile up here. They dominated the first half, no question about that. Really, Notre Dame, not any substantial scoring opportunities to speak of. But now Notre Dame has the benefit of the wind, and immediately we play here on the right end of the field for the first time for any length of time.
I decided to step out into the patio of the press box area so you get a feel for that wind across the microphone here on the headset. You'll get that every once in a while. That's really, it was just for effect. That, and I couldn't see this end of the field. But
say, did we need wind on the broadcast? I didn't know that was required.
Well, you got to get a little bit of a feel for it.
Just trying to bring you inside the broadcast and what it feels like.
I would ask you if this is anywhere near the windiest game you've ever done, but I know you didn't do a game, but you attended one way worse than this.
There's a shot high. That's over the top of the net, and a shot from Rudy Klund.
What were the wind speeds of the Cleveland baseball game in April a number of years ago when the...
Oh, my goodness, that was awful. I don't know, but I'm not sure even that's the windiest one I was ever at. I'll never forget the Farmington-Hannibal State football. It was either a quarterfinal or I don't think it was a semifinal. It could have been. I don't remember. We're talking 2006
in St.
stuff.
Louis?
No, it was in Farmington.
In Farmington. But what about the Gateway game? Gateway was pretty bad. But you were sideline reporting that game.
That was windy too.
Yeah, that's bad.
The Farmington-Hannibal football game was the only time I ever saw a backwards punt.
Yes.
The punt went up in the air normal, curled up, stopped, and ended up going over the punter's head. I'll never forget that. That is on the list of the windiest games I've been at. I forgot about that Gateway too. That Gateway game was miserable.
I've seen a few highlights of punts that have done that, but I've never been in attendance.
Notre Dame with their first corner kick of the game, so immediately they get a set piece here as we start the second half, something they did not have in half number 1.
No, they had. I mean, there's no exaggeration to this. In the first half, they had no opportunities to score. They were never in a spot. There was a pass that didn't connect that went to the left wing. Had it connected, they might have had a chance, but it was a little bit too long. But no real opportunities, at least with that set piece there off the corner, they had an opportunity.
Rudy Klund trying to get a ball down to the pitch, but Pratt able to take it for a moment, get a foot on it. And again, Jackson losing possession as they play one upfield. Kind of play between the 30s here, if you will, speaking of football, so to speak. Just underway, second half of a 4-0 game. Greg Allen, Mike Reeves on Aycorp Sports. Mike and I will be back with you on Aycorp the second to last week of April or so. And the 21st is one of our dates with boys high school volleyball from Saxony Lutheran. And then we'll bring a doubleheader towards the end of that week. Here's Adeline Abernathy winning a ball and just over the top of the nets with a decent look from the right wing. Had to fend off 2 Bulldogs to get free and had a clean look. She is their leading goal scorer this year with 5. She is a freshman. And get all those freshmen for Jackson. And I asked Caleb Biesink, how have the freshmen been? He used one word, and the word was hungry. And we're not talking about your post-game festivities of where you want to go for dinner.
I started to say I could play on this team if that's a if that's a qualification. But no, it's a different hungry. I get it.
Here's one wide right from Sauerbrunn. What's imperative, if Jackson is going to put a ball on net in the air, you're really going to have to do a good job to keep it low now, playing it into that wind. And Notre Dame will play this one all the way back to the Jackson keeper, Addie Sander. Sander last year was pressed into service with an injury to their starting veteran netminder. Here's Larson in the middle. Leaves one off for Klund. Tries to step around a defender to find a shooting lane, but that's broken apart, but she stays on it. Wins the ball back and then draws a whistle or no. Committed the foul. Like, great effort by Rudy Klund.
Hungry? I mean, that was...
No, she doesn't count. She's a senior. You can't use that with her.
Well, that was some kind of effort, and despite the whistle, there was no let-up. It's like, I've got an opportunity here, and I'm going to do everything I can to try to make that opportunity become a scoring chance.
Dawes couldn't play that clean. Notre Dame had a crack at it. Oh, great defense with the ball on possession for Reagan Quinn, the sophomore. That was pretty. Keeping the offensive player on her back and keeping the ball away from her. Up the right wing, Banderman. On the right side of the box, taking it deeper, looking for a centering pass. Instead, puts it on target. Knocked down and caught by Hulshoff. It was Sander last year as a freshman, talking about the Indian keeper this year, who came up with a big win against Marquette last season in the game that went to penalty kicks. Well, you're a freshman goaltender taking on Marquette. Goes to penalty kicks, you're on an island, and she ends up picking up the victory. And Coach Biesink said that was a big moment for her as a rookie. And now she gets the starting job in the net for Jackson here in her sophomore season. They sit 2-2.
There are very few tasks in sports more daunting than being a goalkeeper.
Abernathy had to fend off 2 defenders that time that were near her. And her team leading 6th of the year has Jackson on top 5-0.
There's why being a goalkeeper is so difficult. That's just a rocket shot from great scoring spot on the field. You get that. What are you supposed to do with that one?
Adeline Abernathy
Greg, every so often you hear that term. It could be this sport, any sport that scores goals, hockey, I guess you look at. Greg, a goal scorer's goal, right? Well, she's just lined up with her. She just goes, I'll go right up over you. and planted that in a perfect spot.
It didn't require a lot of space, and there is one of those freshmen. And already with a second half goal, not even 7 minutes in, and the ball possession time, it's been Notre Dame's had a few more cracks, but it's still heavily favored to Jackson. That win not affecting as much here in the second half for the Indians. Banderman centering pass broken apart, but it comes back now to Reagan Gwynn.
I love Banderman's ability to get around the edge here on this right side. We've seen it twice, and then set up a teammate. She may have a chance here.
Yes, she might. She's got a crossing ball that just was out of the reach of a teammate coming right down Broadway. And was that Abernathy again that couldn't get to it? It was.
Yeah, that
was almost a tap-in goal.
Those goal scorers love those players who can make those passes and those kind of plays.
Coming up on 8 minutes into the second half of a now 5-0 game. Notre Dame after today, they go to the Fralish Cup. They'll take on Mascoutah, Illinois, Collinsville on the 10th and 11th. St. Vincent comes to Cape Girardeau on the 14th, followed by Saxony Lutheran the very next day. Jackson opened the season with a 4-0 win against Visitation. Visitation will be in Cape Girardeau on the 18th. And then we get some little extra contact between Banderman, who kind of throws a bit of a shoulder into Abby Pratt. And we may be looking at certainly an opportunity that could have warranted a card, but I don't think we got one.
It's been quite a while since I said we haven't really seen the physical play yet. I think in a game where you haven't seen as much of it, something like that stands out more. Because honestly, I've seen that 100 times on a soccer pitch.
Right.
But
just not today.
We haven't seen it today, so it kind of catches your eye a little bit.
Abernathy back with it. Oh, good lead pass to Banderman. Tried to put it on her left foot, and then she just got flat steamrolled in the box. And the ball comes back in possession of the Bulldogs. Trying to keep it in bounds, but can on this near side sideline with Kate Clippard. Cape Notre Dame has a not exactly normal soccer thing coming up on April 24th. They're going to play a doubleheader on the same day. And Coach Swain told me there's not a lot of time between games. That's part of a Southwest shootout. They'll get Carl Junction and Hickman back-to-back almost, and then based on how they do there, play another game the very next day on the 25th.
Almost sounds more like a conditioning drill. I mean, you're going to find out what you're made of there.
Yeah, you are.
And you mentioned it earlier, they don't have a real deep roster.
Here's a loose ball. Abernathy could never get a foot to it, and it's out of bounds. Is that a corner kick coming up? Certainly looks like it is, and headed that way into the corner goes Sauerbrunn. Now the wind will push this ball away from the net. She'll put it in the air nonetheless. Top of the 6-yard box, off the crossbar and over. Ashlyn Dawes had the header, was looking for her first of the year. She's headed to Columbia College to play softball. Following this, her final season as a Jackson Indian. Columbia College, an NAIA school, part of the American Midwest Conference.
Your most recent endeavors have made you very familiar with that league.
I certainly am. I know their sports information director very well, Nathan Davis, a really good guy. And Ashlyn Dawes will learn all about him and become a Columbia Cougar. The good news for her, they're really good in softball. They're also really good in women's soccer. Nice give and go, tic-tac on the sideline. Banderman deeper up that right wing to Stelling. Tries to come out of that corner, but another ball that's played out of bounds by Notre Dame.
One thing we've seen a little more, Greg, here in the second half, maybe just because of the nature of the way that it has to be played. You're coming into that wind a little bit. The ability to pass and move the ball up the field with multiple passes. They've set up more than one scoring opportunity doing exactly that.
Sauerbrunn wants that ball in a specific spot out of that near side corner. This one right in the middle. Still loose. Jackson looking for a shooting lane, but Notre Dame had it. Off that corner kick, Sarah Holshoff went up to try to get a hand on it, but missed it. And then it was into that mixer in the middle.
It's got to be a helpless feeling as a keeper when it's sitting there. And there are numerous players, numerous feet, times 2 the number of players, and there's just anybody get a foot on it. And from that distance, it doesn't take much. You just try to take away as many angles as you can.
This time the corner comes from the far side of the field and right off the knee of Ashlyn Dawes, and that one over the top of the post and out of bounds.
Addison Crooks had a good look at that one, just missed that top left corner. If anybody's new to the sport and joining Aycorp for the first time and saying, hey, I've watched Aycorp sports, never seen this sport on, there are 4 classes in the state of Missouri for girls soccer. So when we were talking about Jackson being a class 4, that is the biggest of the 4 classes.
I'll put you on the spot. How many on the boys' side?
Didn't check the boys' side.
Okay. Wouldn't expect you to just shot from the right from the point from Addison Crooks, and a great save by Holshoff. Turned it aside to keep it 5-0.
I do know there are 8 girls districts with 64 total teams playing in them.
That works out nicely.
Class 1 has the fewest number of teams, as you might expect.
Boy, 64 sounds like a really good number for a tournament. Sounds like the perfect number.
Or 68.
64. No, not 68. 64. Punched out by Holshoff. Got a hand out off that corner. And all the way out the other side, and Notre Dame will clear for the moment.
Or soon to be 76.
Pick your number.
Yeah. Class 1, 4 districts is all they have in Class 1, and 38 schools participate in that particular class.
Murley had it taken away by Wunderlich and then cleared.
Nice job. Handling the ball and then finding a lane to clear it out of there.
Well, this second half, regardless of direction of wind, Mike, has not changed time of possession and who has spent more time on the offensive end compared to what we saw in the first half. It's just continued to be dominated by Jackson.
Now, as I said earlier, I think the only thing that's changed is how they've managed possession, and it's taken a few extra passes to get into a scoring spot, and they're getting another opportunity right here.
Murley trying to find the ball back after she lost it, and out of the right sideline to Crooks. Trying to step around a defender, and does. Centering pass to the top to Grunlow, and that one taken away by Pratt. Addie Pratt had 2 goals yesterday in the 4-0 win over Carbondale on the road. Kate Clippard is the team leader for Notre Dame in goals this season with 4, 28 in white. She's out of your shot right now, just to the left of the left side of your screen. Nothing coming out of that corner kick for the moment. Allie Thompson trying to control it. Gets it back to Chloe Abernathy. Fifteen and a half gone by, second half, 5-0. Jackson, 4 first half goals, 1 here in the second. 6th of the year from Adeline Abernathy. That's the team leader right now. The only tally in half 2 to make it 5-0.
Every so often, Greg, you'll see a team take a lead like what Jackson had at the intermission of this one and really just absolutely sit on it and really make almost no effort, just, hey, play defense. We've got this. They've still continued to attack and done everything that they did in the first half. Haven't scored the same number of goals yet, but we still have 24 minutes left to play. They've been rock solid really from the very opening of this one.
Michaela Dannenmuller looking up that left side for the aforementioned Kate Clippard, but couldn't connect it out of bounds. And now we have a goalie change for Jackson as Piper Landgraf. It'll be sophomore for Caleb Biesink, the head coach. He'll go with Landgraf in the cage with about 23 and a little more than a half minutes to go. Throw in Jackson here, comes right to that leading goal scorer for Notre Dame. There's Clippard right there. She's got it on the left sideline, but 2 defenders around her. Dannenmuller looking in the middle for Pratt. Couldn't connect. Jackson takes it away. At They can control here. They've got some space up this right side sideline. Stelling able to keep it in play, and then the left foot kicked a little too far in front on the dribble, and Caden King plays it the other direction.
I will say this, a few more times in this half than we saw in the first half, Cape Notre Dame's been able to, on defense, break up plays a little bit more. A lot of times they couldn't do that in the first half.
They'll do so here with Kate Rowland. And just knock that out of bounds. Throw in far side coming up for the Lady Indians. Good look at the scoreboard here at Jackson Soccer Stadium. Celebrating 30 years of girls soccer here at Jackson. This is the season they also said 50 years of girls basketball at Jackson High School.
They get presents?
They probably did get presents.
I think so.
We're not getting presents, but they probably did.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, you're really hyped on this gift thing.
I know. I've been thinking about it. I thought about it when they said, when Aycorp told us it's the first time we've done soccer. I'm like, then there's got to be something in there for us.
Header off the corner from Dawes, and it's right on net, but Holshoff able to gobble it up.
That's twice that Dawes has been able to get a header right off of a corner kick. One ricocheted off the crossbar. That one was gobbled up by the keeper.
Holshoff has given up one goal since she's come on, but Mike, she's had a couple of tough saves. That one was point blank.
She played it very calmly. I like the way she just was right there, stayed with it, didn't allow it to lay back on the turf.
I know it's so difficult, but especially in the girls' game, Mike, I think it's so important for goalkeepers to not give up rebounds.
Yep.
Catch it clean. Even those little sort of pat-down efforts can get you in trouble once in a while. And smother it and hang on.
And for the most part, today, I think when a keeper has had the opportunity to make a save and hold on to it, we've seen that.
Approaching 19 minutes gone by in the second half, and that one short side wide of the net off the kick from Murley. Sophia Kroll, freshman. Bryn Banderman, freshman for Jackson. Tinsley Murley, Sydney Schomburg, Chloe and Adeline Abernathy. And boy, do they add quite a bit to this Jackson group. That includes the leading scorer now with 6 in Adeline Abernathy. Another corner. That one played to nobody in particular, just to a spot. And Allie Thompson, a sophomore, runs it down. It's the veteran out of the corner, Stelling. Shielded off, and there's that defense for Notre Dame, taking the ball away with Caden King. Well done.
I was thinking as we arrived here earlier, too, that at the high school level, haven't watched a whole lot of games in this sport that aren't also doubling up as a football field. It's just a soccer-only field. We don't see a lot of those.
Kate Clifford tried to play one up to Brenley Henneman. They weren't on the same page. And again, the Bulldogs able to take one away. This is Crooks. She's got Murley in the middle. Crooks plays one her direction, and off a Notre Dame foot, Murley still runs it down to the top of the box and plays it back safely to keep possession with 19 and a half to go. Well, if that initially centering pass got to Murley, it'd have been really interesting to see what would have happened. Murley more aggressive to the ball here, and Holshoff ends up with it. Saw Murley rushing on and able to just to grab that.
Leading up to that, when Murley had it right at the top of the box and then decided to play it back out 5-0 Legions, but they reset and then ended up with getting a great opportunity. I like the patience that she showed on that.
That goal kick is shanked. And so Jackson with a throw in here right in front of us. Good look at Addison Crooks right in front of you on the sideline. 2 goals this year. Now 3 after one in the first half. 4 goals last year with a couple of helpers. And now Allie Thompson will take over the throw-in duties.
Greg, all of the bleacher seating in this facility is in front of us, not on the other side. You can't maybe get a real good feel, but we were told there would be a good gathering show up for this thing, and there certainly has been.
Well, you get a good look at the parking lot right there in your shot. It's not quite Dodger Stadium, but, I mean, it looks like a ton of cars, and it is.
Well, it's not Dodger Stadium because nobody's leaving.
Yeah, it'd be empty by now with 18 minutes to go in the game. You're right. Especially when the Dodgers are up 5-0. It's really time to go home.
Dodgers being ahead in a baseball game. That would be a very odd occurrence.
9-2 coming into today. They're okay. And boy, that World Series rematch, they are just dismantling the Toronto Blue Jays up north.
Yeah, there was a little hype.
There was a little. It was short-lived.
Yeah, as much as you can have April hype for baseball.
Right.
Yeah.
Klund on a centering ball ends up on the top of the net. Great idea. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that. I mean, it's a World Series rematch. I get it. It's early April, so there's some eyeballs and attention drawn to it, especially with the Fall Classic they played last year. But boy, this 3-game series up in Rogers Center, formerly Skydome, has been completely one-sided.
As you might assume, looking at the scoreboard in this one, it has been a one-sided affair, no question. I do think Notre Dame has at times played better in half 2 than in half 1, but they've still never really generated an opportunity to put the ball in the net.
Notre Dame, their 3-game win streak will fall by the wayside here today, trailing 5-0 Abernathy. Nice stop-and-go move and a centering ball to Crooks. Crooks, it's broken up by Notre Dame for the moment, but headed right back to the offense for Jackson, and Crooks is right back on it. And maybe a handball in the penalty area. No whistle did I hear. Well, that was dangerous for Notre Dame. That could have been a penalty shot. Instead, they get a breakout with Kate Clifford trying to run a ball down, trying to keep it in play, and she's got Allie Thompson to beat. And Thompson with a great job just to stay in space and take a passing lane away and knock it out of bounds.
If we were scoreless right now, that play in the box would have been a lot
Yes. I thought it was off a hand, Mike. I don't know what you saw.
It looked like it did. It looked like it came up and caught her on the left. The left hand is what it looked to me like, but they elected to play on.
Bree Johnston got a ball away from Abernathy and ended up on the ground for her efforts. It'll be a throw in Jackson. You been to Rogers Center before?
I have not, and I've heard mostly good things from people who have. I've heard one or two not kind things about the place, but I've heard mostly good.
I will give you my memorable moment. I know she's listening, and it was her man, so I will mention it. We were at Rogers Center, then Skydome, to watch the Cleveland, still not called Indians these days, but I'll call them that. We were sitting right on the third base line, extended behind the dugout. And she was my wife's favorite player, probably is still to this day. Grady Sizemore, straight steal of home, coming right at us. It was awesome.
Your thoughts on the stadium?
I liked it.
Yep.
I liked where it was. I thought the sight lines were real good. If you're there, I can see how seats way up high in that they might even have 4 decks out in left field. I know they at least got 3, but I can see how those seats, people might say, oh my gosh, you're so far away from the field. Now that I totally would understand. We were not relegated to sit there. I liked it a lot. I've only been there once, though. Notre Dame with a free kick here, and the backup keeper with an easy save with Piper Landgraf. Just past the 14-and-a-half-minute mark of this one on Aycorp Sports. First girls soccer broadcast on the platform. Then some boys volleyball. We'll have a couple of more of those as we go down this so far early part of the spring season. Mike and I will have a couple from Saxony Lutheran later on this month on the boys volleyball front.
I'm going to go with the World Cup coming up this summer. I was thinking about the stadiums and the size of, some of the baseball, football stadiums, and some of the stadiums they're going to play in. And I've wondered what watching soccer from that sightline would be like, because they're going to play in the 70,000 to 80,000 seat stadiums. I know what it's like to sit and watch football at that level. I've done that before. I've kind of thought about soccer, and I'm assuming you can follow it well enough. I mean, might not be the best seat where you'd want to watch a game from, but I think you'd be okay.
Well, I am by no shape or form any kind of follower of international soccer. But I got to think, what are the premier teams over there, the big ones? AC Milan, Real Madrid. Like, what are they seeding?
Oh, that's a good question. Every time I've turned, my son's watched it a lot, and every time I looked, it looked massive. So I'm going to say that they are big stadiums. The World Cup, they're playing in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're playing at Gillette Stadium in Boston, AT&T Stadium in Dallas, where is that stadium technically? Arlington. Kansas City is hosting, of course.
Just quick Google search, and I'll just take Google's
word for it.
Word for gospel. Real Madrid, major renovations in 2024, 83,186. So coming here to play
that's just what they do during their regular season.
Yeah, it should be no different. Now, high school girls playing in front of 70,000, that would be intimidating.
Playing in those facilities would be something else.
Coming up on 12 to go. Free kick here for Jackson. Indians are going to get to 3-2, the current record for Notre Dame, who will fall to 3-3. That one played well downfield. Jackson with a shot on net, a Holshoff able to vacuum that home. Thought that was Murley on the opportunity, Mike.
Yet another chance for her. She's had a number of opportunities in addition to the one that she scored. I think in terms of pure sight lines and enjoying a game, I think Energizer Park in St. Louis, those type MLS fields are just about perfect for you. Just pure enjoy the game and have a great view of the field.
Those tight, intimate, surrounding kind of venues.
22,500, I think, is the capacity.
That's why I like Chaffetz so much for college basketball. Smaller venue, right? Not that Mizzou Arena's bad. Chaffetz just gives you a different feel. Abernathy upfield to Banderman. Coming up on 11 to go. Larson with a good turn to give it off to Rachel Berger, who's got some space. Right from straight down the middle. Holshoff got a hand on it. Then it found post. Then it found the back of the net. Berger returns after a 6-goal season last year. She is the 6th different goal scorer today and nets her 2nd of the year.
Right, twice today we've seen goals come from outside the box. You got that one and the one from Emma Larson earlier. That one, from where it was on the field to where it ended up, and yes, the keeper got the hand on it, but that was about as well placed as you could have from where she was.
And you were spot on, Mike. Teams, we've watched enough soccer, you and I together at the high school level. Teams get 4-5-0 leads late in the game and sit on it. That has not been the case at all here for Jackson.
No,
and you picked up on that 15 minutes ago.
And Greg, I think they've been real smart about the way they've done it. They haven't done anything to put them at risk of giving up much, but when the opportunity has been there, they've continued to take it. And we've watched time after time where teams just...
It's a game of keep away.
Knock it down into the zone, play around with it a little bit, kick it back into the defensive end, and they have shown no interest in playing that way. But they've been very, I think, intelligent a bit in the way in which they've gone about the attack.
I can tell you this style is a lot more watchable than some of the stuff we've watched.
Yeah, they have been very good today.
Notre Dame wins a 50-50 ball. Wunderlich with a through ball up the right wing, but it's got to be deeply played by Mia Panton. Panton's going to get to it first, tries to center one in the middle of Clipper. Their leading scorer comes back out and rifled over the top of the net. That's one of their cleanest looks of the day, and it was put well high of the cage from that right wing.
And it makes you appreciate, too, what Jackson's done on a couple of occasions when they've gotten shots from that distance and they've been able to put them on the cage. That's not always easy to do. Like we talked about earlier, that's what you see on that shot as often or more often than not, is that it tends to go high.
Coming up on 9 to go. I think it was Cece Lemons on that shot. Ball's coming her way now. On the touch, it is Lemons. She was frustrated with herself that she put it so high and didn't even give herself a chance to score. And again, goaltender changes on both sides. The Notre Dame change due to injury. The Jackson change came about 15 minutes into half two. Addie Sander giving way to Piper Landgraf.
I will admit to doing this by memory. I did not chart anything on it. Has Notre Dame put a shot on goal? I don't have recollection of one being on goal. They've had a couple of shots, but I don't know that they were on target.
I can't answer that. Yeah. One doesn't come to mind. Jackson stutter step move far side on Rowland, got around Rowland in the middle and played just over the top of the left foot by Stelling. She just sort of chipped at it and went off the foot and up over the top of the post.
But again, another play that's so well set up. I mean, the passing has been terrific. Finishing for the most part has been good. I'm not going to count that as a bad finish. That's a very difficult play. You're trying to quickly, with the left foot, elevate one and go into the top part of the net.
Tough ass trying to run a ball down. Michaela Dannenmuller deep on that left wing. Across 7.5 to go. Here in a 6-0 Jackson lead. Most goals Jackson has scored in a head-to-head game against Notre Dame in now the last 25 meetings. The previous high was 5 back on April 26th of 2011 when they beat Notre Dame 5-0. Looking for another one here with pressure from Stelling, and Notre Dame knocked it out of bounds. So over the last quarter of a century, these are the most goals that Jackson has scored head-to-head against the Bulldogs.
And Greg, honestly, it took on this look of the game right from the outset. It was like this from the beginning.
Addison Crooks off the throw-in to Murley. And the header will be a goal kick. Well, kudos to the Aycorp Sports crew for bringing us down on a nice, comfortable evening in Jackson, 70 degrees.
They planned that weeks ahead of time.
They did well. You and I don't do well in cold weather.
Or rainy, or hot.
Or windy.
Windy it has been, but
we
it's
do
been
have a press
nice.
box, though.
Yeah, we have a press box. We're good.
Crooks lost possessions, trying to get it right back, and sort of volleyed around. Emma Larson ended up with it. 6 minutes, second half. Well, as far as soccer stadiums, and as you mentioned, most of our time has been spent on football fields that double as soccer facilities. This one is fantastic. Standalone soccer. And there's a whistle as the ball was coming to Stelling in the middle. This will be right from the center of the field and a free kick here for the Lady Indians with 5.5 to go. Boy, this is a dangerous spot.
Yeah, because we watched how efficient they are at being able to strike from well outside the box. This might be much to ask here, but put it there in the middle where you get a chance again to create that traffic and throw it in that mixture you've talked about all day and see what happens.
And give the responsibility to a rookie. Bryn Banderman opened the goal scoring of the game at the 34-39 mark. Lost this one too high. 5 minutes, second half. Notre Dame, 2 days from now, Mascouda, Illinois in game 1 of the Freilich Cup. Jackson, Farmington coming here 2 days from now on Friday. Jackson last year 15-4 saw a 7-year run of district titles come to an end when they lost to Nerinx Hall 2-1 in overtime in the district semis. That includes their first ever Final Four appearance in 2018. They lost to Eureka 4-0 in the third place game. Notre Dame each of the last 2 years bowing out a win shy of a Final Four appearance, losing to St. Joe's Academy 7-0 last year. Correazu the year before that 8-0. Back to the top and cleared out of bounds by the Bulldogs. Notre Dame went 12-7 last year, 15-7 the year before that.
The statement not made in any way negatively, so let me finish the statement. easiest job today, it's felt like, in addition, and take away what we've done. I feel like referee today for a soccer game has had a pretty uneventful game, because I've watched many where they are in the firing lines from the beginning. And this one, the way it's been played, not incredibly physical. It's not been from a perspective of being a close game. Not a bad day if you're going to have that job, right?
Things did get a little chippy after that little incident here in the second half on the near side, kind of right in front of us. But after that, I mean, I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, and that was very short-lived.
Yep. It kind of ramped up the physicality for a couple of minutes after that. Nice crossover, looking for a shot on goal here. And it's Mia Panton to put that on net, and Piper Landgraf right there. Yeah, I got to think, when games are played like this in soccer and it's not ultra physical, makes it so much easier on the officiating crew. You don't get that helter-skelter play.
Yeah, I think you get to watch the skill of the players a little more. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a good physical soccer game. It's perfectly okay, but you see the skill set a little more.
Maddie Stelling looking at two defenders, going to tape it deep down that right side and behind the net with that effort. 2.5 now under that remaining second half.
Well, the one thing I've noted today from both of the squads, I've thought that decision-making with the ball has been good on both sides. I haven't seen the play yet where I went, oh, what is she thinking? But I think both teams have made good choices when they've had those chances. And from Jackson's perspective, some of those choices were what led to goals. But from the perspective of Cape Notre Dame, a lot of it was trying to get out of trouble, or the rare times that they have been able to get in some semblance of a scoring area.
Dan and Mueller couldn't run that ball down. Notre Dame playing without one of their senior captains, and Maya Tebow out with an ankle injury. I asked Coach Swain, is she out for the year? He said, I don't know right now. I hope not. She's committed to Calvin University in Michigan. Well, they certainly miss her efforts. Not just today, but as long as she'll be out. Jackson with a centering ball a little behind the intended target, and Maggie Grunlow, and cleared out by Notre Dame. 80 seconds remaining in this one.
I still think it's a bit of an oddity in a very good way for Jackson that you come here and you see 6 goals on the board and nobody with more than 1. That
tells you something.
There's a lot of times that you'll see that one standout player score 2 or 3.
Abernathy trying to make it 2, but missed it high and left. Murley's had a couple of looks. Crooks has had a couple of chances. Abernathy there. That's not the first time she's had a look at a second goal on the day. And Notre Dame off the goal kick. Well, we certainly hope you've enjoyed it with the first ever girls soccer broadcast on Aycorp Sports. Mike and I making sure to set the bar low as far as the broadcast is concerned. So the next time you get a different crew, you can say, hey, those guys are way better than those first guys.
Yeah, whoever comes in next will have an easier job than the referee had here today. They just have to come in, and whatever they do will be better than what we did. They'll be fine. And with you talking like that,
got to start low, right? Expectations low.
You talking like that took away any hope of us getting presents today. I'll tell you that right now.
And before another Jackson throw-in, that clock you're looking at will wink down to 0-0. Jackson, 8 consecutive wins head-to-head over the Notre Dame Bulldogs. They score the most goals today they had in any game head-to-head against them. In the last 25 years, a 6-0 victory to run their record to 3-2, and the Bulldogs fall to 3-3. 6 goals, 6 different goal scorers, 4 in the first half, 2 in the second. They open it up with Bryn Banderman, her third of the year at 34-39. And then it was a couple of first goal scorers of the season, Emma Larson and Tinsley Murley back-to-back, just over 8 minutes apart, 28:56 and 20:38. And then just over 7.5 minutes to go in the half, Addison Crooks with her third of the year. And then the leading goal scorer, Adeline Abernathy, got in the mix just about 6.5 minutes into the second half with a goal, her 6th of the season. Then Rachel Berger capped it at the 11:01 mark with her second. And Jackson, wire to wire, dominating this one, Mike.
Well, we say this a lot when we get a chance to do sports that we don't do a whole lot of, okay? games like this pique your curiosity to want to follow and keep up with. What does Cape Notre Dame do from here? I'll be kind of curious to kind of follow them, and see what happens after we see them here today. And where does Jackson go from here? We already know how tough it's going to get for them with some of the teams they're going to play.
Yep.
But where do they go from here? Because they looked really good today.
Well, if you are a casual soccer watcher, highlight April 23rd right back here at this venue. The 6th-ranked team in the country in Corriers who comes to town with Maddie DiMaria, who's committed to North Carolina. A couple of big ones against a couple of undefeateds for Jackson before that, Glendale and Nixa. But both these teams in action Friday. Jackson has Farmington coming here. Notre Dame will beat the Freilich Cup. They'll take on Mascouda, Illinois in their first contest of that tournament. Again, the Indians, a 6-0 win, a 3-2 mark now. Notre Dame falls to 3-3. For everybody involved in our broadcast today, for Joshua Iyer, producer, Matt Williams on the cameras, that's Mike Reeves. Greg Allen saying so long from the Jackson Soccer Stadium, where the Indians, in a wire-to-wire effort, a 6-0 win, their 8th consecutive win over the Notre Dame Bulldogs. Have a good night, everybody.